Trying to get this damn bot to do a test. It's being a jerk about it. Good. It is going through the right channel. Oh, man. Don't let your work flood. It's a bad time. If anyone ever tries to tell you it's fine, it's a normal time, they are liars. It is not a good time. All right, we got a lot to cover. As a heads up, we have a hard cutoff in a little over an hour. Because we have to go raiding. Or well, I have to go raiding. You all then get to keep making jokes about Step on Me Mommy for an hour and a half after that. After that, we'll cover more of the podcast. If any's left over, we'll do it Monday. Because I'm not exaggerating when I say there's a lot to cover. Look at all those tabs. Look at them all. Look at them. Yeah, no, this is not going to be a quick half-hour freaking podcast. Oh, no. There is quite a lot that happened at CES. Oh yeah, and Instagram doesn't know if they're hacked or not. You know, just to boot. So 7 o'clock, hard cut off. We have to switch over to 14 at that point. So with that, let's get this show on the road. 3, 2, 1. Coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech, Instagram may or may not have been hacked. We're not entirely sure what. We'll get into details as to why. Razer, yeah, the gaming company, is getting into AI. Why, we don't know, but they are. We'll get into details as to how. Dell, of all companies, is finally sobering up and correcting course, and robots have taken over CES. They've just taken over CES. All that and more coming today on Eagle Eyes on Tech. I think I might have gotten cut off. I don't know if I should re-record that intro or not. That might be the first time I've actually rambled too long in an intro. Damn. We'll do that again. 3, 2, 1. Coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech, Instagram may or may not have had 17 million accounts attacked. We'll get into details as to why. Razer, yeah, the gaming company, is getting into AI. Dell has sobered up and is correcting course. We'll get into exactly how. And robots have completely taken over the Consumer Electronics Show. All that and more coming up today on Eagle Eyes on Tech. Better. Rants are good. Well, good. We got about. Anyone know an easy way to find out how many tabs are open on a on a window of Chrome? I really don't want to count all these tabs. There has to be. But you know what? Just like that, I stopped caring. A little lullaby on your screen. I'll get to work on that. One tab. Two tabs. All right, count. You go ahead and do that. I'm gonna start the episode. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or it's 2 a.m. Good morning, this is Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. I always start off by saying we have a lot to talk about today, but it's CES season. We have a lot, and I do mean a lot, to talk about today. And we're gonna start off with the non-news or the non-CES news, and then get into the silly news. And as also is tradition for us for CES, we, instead of the last burb, the weirdest story being the one we end on, we actually did, despite the fact that The Verge put up a paywall on their own site, do have the Verge CES Awards to make fun of at the very end. You don't want to miss it, because they always clearly smoked something illicit when they chose those awards, and this year is no different. But I want to know who is smoking what over at Instagram and Malwarebytes, because there's an argument now going on as to, has Instagram been hacked? This is the big question all of a sudden. A couple of days ago, Malwarebytes came out and said that they have detected a breach of 17 million accounts that have been leaked onto the dark web and are just out there for anyone to use. Instagram, however, says they have recently fixed a bug that allowed threat actors to mass request password reset emails amidst claim, or rather, and I mean, that's just it. Instagram has fixed a bug that allows threat actors to mass request password reset emails. So, let me get this straight. We got Malwarebytes out there claiming there has been a breach of Instagram and that there's 17 million different accounts that had their data leaked out and are out there for all to see. And Instagram says, no. Nothing like that's going on. We recently fixed a bug that let people request password reset emails. So who's correct? Now, at this time, we don't have anything definitive. All right. Let's just get that out there right now. We don't know for certain. Malwarebytes is usually pretty reputable, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they just jump to conclusions. At the same time, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and Facebook has about the security professionalism of a paper bag. And about as secure as one, too. It would not surprise me at all if Instagram has been breached and all they saw was part of the exploit, which allowed the attacker to mass request password reset emails, which could have been part of the way how they got in. And then Instagram's just saying, there's no problem, no problem, no problem. So at this point, what can you do? Well, for starters, you could have never used Instagram. Checkmate. Can't get hacked on Instagram if you never used Instagram. That's the galaxy brain move play right there. But assuming you were a sucker and actually did go ahead and use Instagram, the first step, of course, is to change your password. I don't know, because I do have an Instagram account just for the streams over at twitch.tv/EagleFalcon, but I don't use it that often. I just have a clip schedule that just uploads to the account, and that's it. I don't know if there's any kind of two-factor authentication. If there is, not the worst idea to enable that. I mean, that's pretty much all you can do. At this point, we really are just in a wait and see sort of mode. Although, gun to my head, who do I think is correct? I think Malwarebytes is. Instagram has always had the mentality, I felt, of like a squad of teenagers that are more Instagram users than they are administrators of the website. They've never really seemed to take a whole lot seriously. They very crappily went ahead and made a Twitter clone that didn't do all that well. they don't really innovate that much. They were just like, oh, TikTok popular, go make reels. That's like TikTok. Whatever, we're Instagram, we're popular, herder. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were so incompetent that they were breached and thought all they had was a bug that let a bunch of password reset emails go out. Whether I'm right or wrong, I would err on the side of caution and just go ahead and reset passwords. Anyway, that is going to be the far smarter decision when push comes to shove. Speaking of the smarter decision, YouTube has actually enabled a good feature. I am just as stunned as you. The feature is absolutely genius. YouTube has enabled the ability for you to search for videos and filter out shorts automatically. To which all I can say is, first off, thank you. Thank you very much. And second, what took you so long? Why wasn't this a thing like immediately? For those who don't understand the terminology because you aren't terminally on YouTube, first off, good for you. Second, shorts are the YouTube equivalent of TikToks. YouTube has a feature on it called Shorts where you can put up vertical videos and they basically behave like TikTok videos where you just scroll endlessly and you get nothing of substance, you lose brain cells, and then you realize 3 hours have passed and you're 2 hours late for work. And you have accomplished nothing other than the sensation of realizing a lot of people are really stupid. You know, just like TikTok. And to answer your next question, yes, it is how the number 67 gets funny. You've rotted your brain on shorts and TikToks. Good job. So yeah, you can now filter out that nonsense, which also is going to filter out a large amount of AI generated crap. Although let me tell you, most of the AI generated nonsense it is all on Twitter. Oh my God. You have not seen an AI generated cesspit until you have looked over videos on Twitter. Ooh, that is horrendous. You should also not do that for your sanity's sake. Just don't do it. Meanwhile, though, out of seemingly nowhere, GitHub has just straight up banned a bunch of adult game developers. Nobody knows why. It just kind of happened one day. Now, personally, I don't care. I mean, about the adult games. I mean, I could live with or without it. I do find it concerning that GitHub goes ahead and does a mass ban wave and then refuses to elaborate. That I have a big problem with. Especially since GitHub is supposed to be, you know, the place you go to when you want to go ahead and develop freely and share your open source projects freely. So to see that kind of just go away is very, very, very concerning. So we'll see if we get an explanation, but I'll just tell you right now, I don't think we're going to get one, but I also think the answer is actually Visa and MasterCard. I feel like that is the obvious answer. Someone in chat asks basically the exact same thing I was thinking out loud. Is it another Steam banning type of situation where external groups were bugging about it? I think it is a external group, probably the same group, Collective Shout, going after payment processors pushing against GitHub. Because while GitHub doesn't actually, how does GitHub make its money? I want to say it's ads. I don't know if there is like a premium tier of GitHub or anything like that, or any hosting fees or anything. I don't know. I'm not exactly a developer to go ahead and host source code on GitHub. But I imagine it's something very similar to Steam. And I would assume it's Collective Shout going after payment processors to push against GitHub. And I say Collective Shout specifically because they're the exact kind of misguided dinguses to go ahead and do something like this. On the bright side, though, there is a bit of good news that was announced outside of CES. And that being that Bose, the makers of various smart speakers that use their own systems, but because it's their own systems, once it's end of life, there's no keeping it alive. Bose has decided to turn to open source to keep many of these devices alive after they reach end of life. You know what? Some of you might go down the road of, who cares? Oh man, doing the bare minimum over there, Bose. Go ahead and figure it out. I'm not gonna lie. This is a big win. Whether you have one of these speakers or not, because it shows that a major company that normally is super closed source and super, we don't want anyone to mess with our stuff, to go, you know what? You want to go ahead and keep this stuff alive? Here you go. Go for it. Good luck. We're going to go ahead and work on it on the next speaker that makes a better version of this one. But if you want to keep this one alive, have at it. I gotta say, good on you, Bose. Good on you. I for one will go ahead and I'll go ahead and congratulate. Hopefully it stays that way. But we'll have to wait and see if this is the only thing that Bose does that will go ahead and follow this trend. Hopefully it's not. Now, this one, I don't know what to make of this, okay? So, headlines are saying, including The Guardian here, that Grok has turned off their image generator for most users after the whole thing last week of Grok being used to make very sexualized AI imagery, some of which is questionably legal AI imagery. To which, by the way, is the correct answer. However, here's the problem. All they have done is turned it off for free users. No. Twitter, no. You don't go ahead when you have a PR nightmare like this. You don't just go ahead and say, "Oh, we'll disable it for the free users." First off, I had no idea that this was enabled for the free users. I just assumed, with how desperate Twitter is to go ahead and make money, based on the fact that every normal advertiser bailed out of Twitter, that something like image generation, which does take resources, would have been limited to paying users of the artist formerly known as Twitter anyway. So yeah, no, all the capabilities of making, I'm going to stick with the term questionably illegal material, just to cover the bases, but also ew, beyond ew, sickos over there. I'm trying to do everything in my power not to swear about this, because the whole thing of what people have done with the with the Grok AI image editor is still super disgusting, and in some countries is illegal. Like, thanks to Mr. Johnny Somali, the idiot Twitch streamer who went ahead, or, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say Twitch streamer, the idiot streamer who went over to harass people in Korea. We know over there that any kind of sexual deep faking is a crime. So doing this in Korea with Grok is illegal, with mandatory jail time. And that's excluding, excuse me, and that's not even including the potential, like, underage stuff that people are doing. That's any kind of the sexualized AI imagery nonsense that's been going on. That would all be illegal, 100%, no questions asked, in South Korea. And I have no idea how many other countries follow that exact same kind of rule. So on one hand, I want to say this is a very good first step for Twitter. The problem is that it's not even a first step. It's not even a first shuffle step. It's not even a first lean. It's the illusion of taking action without actually taking action. And they should be called out on this. And they are being called out on this. As I actually don't know if I have the story or not. I actually had to axe quite a little bit because we have so many tabs up here. But I can tell you that there are talks in both the UK and the EU of straight up banning the artist formerly known as Twitter to the entire nation/union. You know, maybe this shouldn't be the hill you want to die on. Just saying. I mean, this is like the easiest PR nightmare to get out of. All you gotta do is say, whoops, that's not supposed to happen. Take down the AI image editor and say, we'll get back to you on this as we iron things out. That's all they had to do. That's it. PR nightmare over. That's all you had to do. Are they doing that? No. Just disable it for free users and give no statement. It really is a clown show over there. There's no other way you can look at that and see anything else. But then again, we kind of have known for a long time that it is, in fact, a clown show over there. Kind of like how Microsoft is a clown show. Microsoft has officially killed the only way you can activate Windows 11 or 10 without the internet. There always used to be an ability to call via the phone to activate pretty much almost every single Windows system that had a key and had an online activation system. There was a way to call in with the product key, get an activation code, and activate Windows. Well, now Windows 10 and 11 has officially killed the call, the phone line system with the ability to call in your product key. There is still a way to go ahead and activate using another online computer, but that's it. Although, to be fair, if you are having trouble activating Windows, may I recommend these steps? 1. Uninstall Windows and instead pick a Linux distro that fits your taste and install that instead. This gets around the Windows activation problem like that. And you don't even have the guilt of piracy. Not gonna lie, it's getting easier and easier to be a Linux activist lately. Easier and easier. We're actually gonna take an early break here. When we come back, I want to get into some of the CES announcements. We're gonna start with the big ones from the big boys, and then move on to some of the stranger stuff. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. You know what I hate myself for? The mini XLR cable came in for these headphones. I forgot them on my desk. They're still sitting there too. I gotta grab them when I was in today. The worst part is the whole being in today and pumping out more water out of the basement. By the way, the basement at work flooded on Friday. It's fantastic. And I think I need to go get a second bilge pump to pump it out. 'Cause I think water is coming into that sump well faster, or rather almost at the close to the same rate as the bilge is pumping it out. Because unfortunately it's an old building and all the roof drains go to the sump well. Except for like one. Even though the rain drain at the back steps goes to the sump well. Because whoever built that building back in the 20s or whenever was a genius. And by a genius, I mean I want to punch them. And it's such a nightmare. I don't have to. They're long dead. Can I get a white mage to res them so I can punch them? I can't even get to my office. Which is a real problem because I can't run payroll. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm a res mage. It's my one job. Silly me. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Eagle Eyes on Tech. I'm Eagle Falcon. Doing everything we can to save on RAM, clearly. All right, so CES announcements. Oh, I went into CES expecting very, very little. Like there's no other way to say it. Going into CES, I expected next to nothing. Because what are you going to announce? We know almost all technology is going to grind to a halt because nobody has any RAM. There's also more and more reports showing that, quite frankly, no one might have RAM until 2028 at the earliest. Which is insane. I think the bubble's going to pop well before then. But I think it's going to be a while for the market to recover from the bubble popping. And by the market, I mean like the computer parts market to recover, not the market. When that bubble finally does pop for AI, oh man. I don't think anyone can accurately say exactly how much the overall market is going to suffer when that bubble pops. But in any case, here's what I'm going to do for you guys, all right? The various keynotes that the major manufacturers went ahead and had were hours long. Okay? Hours long. And since this is CES, the consumer electronics show, I am going to cut all news that any of the major manufacturers said that is not related to the consumer. Deep down, you're hoping I'm just going to cut to credits right now, aren't you? Admit it. You want that to be the joke. Where it just immediately goes to, that's the end of the podcast, right there, done. No. It's not quite that bad. I can tell you that AMD did announce the Ryzen 7 9850X3D. Which is, I guess, technically when it launches, probably going to be the fastest gaming processor out there. Can you get a GPU to feed it? No. But it'll be there, I guess. In addition, though, I forgot to get a... Did I get a slide forward, actually? Let me quickly take a look. Nope, I didn't. Okay. There we go. AMD also announced that they have new, what we've kind of all referred to as Halo Strix CPUs. These are specifically referred to as the Ryzen AI processors because they go ahead and have because they have NPUs on them, but more importantly, it's the fact that they're CPUs that have a high-end like PS5 grade GPU on it as well. They announced new versions of that have the same high-end GPU but lower core counts to reduce costs, which, you know, honestly, pretty good. Zone in chat asked, did they announce new AM4 chips? No. In fact, if we want to just cut out all the corporate stuff, all the AI stuff, that's all they had. That's literally all they had. Moving on, Intel. They announced Panther Lake, a new laptop platform that might be good. Yay? Oh, but wait. You don't understand. They also announced oh yeah, nothing else. Yeah, no. If you were hoping they were going to announce the B770 GPU, no, they did not. They announced some stuff that they're hoping to bring forth to the forefront of AI, but nothing that really matters. Qualcomm, on the other hand, says they are working on the next-gen robotics architecture for their processors over at CES. So, I mean, ARM-powered robots, so that the robots can now be armed. It's so funny. Oh. Yeah, we got nothing. But now NVIDIA. Oh. NVIDIA announced plenty of stuff for the Consumer Electronics Show. They announced DLSS 4.5. so you can use the power of AI to upscale your games more. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, okay, they also did announce a new AI architecture, the Rubin, but the Rubin is also a sandwich, so clearly they must have missed something. They also did announce just to make sure that all art is dead. Nvidia also announced they have reached a deal with Universal Music Group to let the power of AI completely ruin all official music. So that now you can get even more AI slop music. Like, all I can do is just shake my head and sigh. I want to be able to do more, but I can't. I just have to keep shaking my head and sighing. We got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because NVIDIA might have new GPUs. Okay. Finally, something we can use. All right. NVIDIA has announced absolutely nothing. This is actually a rumor. But the rumor says that there's going to be no RTX 5000 Super Series. Or if there is, there's going to be a massive delay on it thanks to the memory crisis. The rumor also says that AMD is also not doing anything for the same reasons. Well, at least we don't have the super nonsense to deal with. But if you are hoping for a GPU, there is some good news. Because you see, all right, AI really only cares about one thing. Besides the downfall of humanity, AI really only wants DDR5 RAM. They want the fastest RAM they can get their hands on. The fastest, right? So older RAM is safe. More and more rumors are popping up that we could see the return of the GeForce RTX 3060. You know what the worst part is? The performance of the 3060 is not that much less than a 5060. Actually, the real funny thing is the fact that in my streaming rig, I have a 4060, and in my gaming PC, I actually have a 3060 Ti. So if either of these two cards die, I can downgrade. See, this is going to be the problem, though, that NVIDIA has, all right? Those who actually do have a need, that they are mid-build, and they need a GPU to finish the build, they got a problem. The problem is very simple. Why would they go get a brand new card if the brand new card is going to be a 3060 and there's going to be a used market filled with other older cards that are better because the 3060 was kind of just an okay card when it launched? This is the future. This is the future. Embracing a 5-year-old card. Look out. You know what the worst part is? You look at all this going on, and you wonder, why don't they just build more fabs? If there's this massive RAM shortage, why not just quickly build more fabs to go ahead and make more RAM? Seems easy, right? Well, besides the fact that the RAM manufacturing companies don't want to be left holding the bag when the AI bubble pops, it's the fact that fabs are a massive investment, both money-wise and time-wise. Micron has come out and said they actually want to build a plant in New York. Where in New York, I don't know. But the plant is going to cost roughly $100 billion to build and won't be finished until 2041. And keep in mind, this is assuming Micron can get approval from the state of New York to even do this. No, that doesn't mean they have to go through Mayor Mondani or whatever his name is. They have to go through the governor. $100 billion to build and 15 years to build the planned plant. Someone in chat said not 31, not 31. 41. Because here's the thing. You remember how one of the biggest fun talking points for anti-AI activists is the water consumption of AI data centers? The thing is that that's a closed loop system. Once you fill the loop, you're not losing a whole lot of water. Like, that's not an issue. A fab, on the other hand, needs to not only consume tons, and I do mean tons of water, but it also has to be very, very, very pure water. We're talking distilled several times over. And the best part is that after they use the water is then contaminated. So these plants also have to include a way to treat the water they're using to put it back in. Because otherwise they are just an environmental hazard. So along with the fab, you have to have a way to go ahead and consume fresh water and treat the fresh water before returning it back to the water supply. Also, by the way, assuming that this plant going into New York is going to be drawing water from, what is that, Lake Erie, I think it is? Or is it Lake Huron? Whichever Great Lake, I think, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure New York actually touches 2 of the Great Lakes. Whichever. The point is that because they go ahead and I've been corrected, it's Ontario and Erie. Look, I just touched the big one, all right? The one that looks like a flaccid. Anyway, the point is that there is a consortium made up of multiple states and Canada that govern over how the water from the Great Lakes is used. In fact, where I'm at here in Waukesha, Wisconsin, in order for us here to go ahead and get fresh drinking water from Lake Michigan, they had to get the approval of all members of the Great Lakes Consortium to agree. So they had to go in. So not only for this plant do they have to go ahead and get the approval of the state of New York, they also have to get approval of many other states, that being Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, crazier Michigan, and Wisconsin, and Canada. They have to get all that approved before they even dream of beginning construction. Someone close to the area says that this one of the ones announced years ago. I wouldn't doubt that. People in chat are saying that this thing's actually much further along than the article I have here, which is just well, I didn't actually want to get the article up because they want money. And also apparently are late to the party. But this is just to like get an idea of those who are hoping that it's just like, oh yeah, they'll just pop up some plants and this will all be over. No problem. These sort of things, this was my whole point. These sort of things take a long time to approve and finalize. And also, let me tell you, from the pretty okay state of Wisconsin, we had one of these big deals too. We had Foxconn saying they were going to manufacture high-end LCD and OLED screens right in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Guess how many screens have come out of that factory? Zero. Foxconn bailed. There's somebody else in the building that Foxconn began to build. I forgot exactly who. Actually, for all I know, it was turned into more Amazon storage. Actually, you know what it very well could be? For all I know, it could be the world's largest frickin' Spirit Halloween. For all I know. Someone in chat said it's a Microsoft data center. It very well could be. At the same time, though, I do kind of low-key want to imagine it's now a giant Spirit Halloween, because that's really, really funny. But it's okay that all this is happening with AI, because now AI is now in Gmail. So you can get AI instant answers. And a redesigned AI inbox. Isn't that what you want? Don't you want AI to be shoved down your throat aggressively? Isn't that what you want? Your daily routine that you do on the regular for communication, to just have machines go ahead and interpret everything for you? Isn't that great? Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't everything great? I can't stress enough how much this is unnecessary. How much we absolutely do not, under any circumstances, need to have AI integrated into Gmail. But by God, it's coming whether you like it or not. But you know what? At least I know Gmail won't go ahead and increase my price tag by 150%. I'm still salty about that QuickBooks. I really, really am. Super salty. Meanwhile, though, Razer. Oh, Razer. Ooh. Razer has come out and at CES announced that they are working with Tens Torrent to go ahead and help advance AI. Really, man? Really? This is your why Razer, the gaming company? Razer, do you have any idea how much gamers want AI in their lives? You know, the thing single-handedly responsible for all PC gamers to be fully depressed. You want to know why PC gamers are completely and utterly depressed? It is 100% AI. And the fact that their hobby, the thing they love to do, the going ahead and looking at, oh, I can keep upgrading my system. Well, now you freaking can't. All thanks to AI. And also, it's going to be the thing also responsible for there being no PlayStations or Xboxes available because they can't build them, all thanks to the power of AI. But yeah, sure, go ahead, partner with AI. Here's the real question, though. How is Razer going to implement AI? Well, let me tell you. Razer has the perfect way to implement AI. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the AI-powered Goon Jar. Now I'm going to wait a minute. All right. I'm going to wait a minute because you're going to want to do the same thing I did. You're going to want to check your calendar. I assure you, it's not April 1st. This is a real thing that was really announced by Razer. It is an LED tube with a hologram in it. There'll be an AI companion that can look like a disembodied Razer logo. The cat girl waifu you are inevitably going to go ahead and choose. This Australian guy that just wants to go back to, Australia. Esports legend Faker that looks like everything that's wrong with esports. And then, of course, generic Eastern office gal. Any one of them can go ahead and basically be a text-to-speech AI-powered chatbot in a jar that'll give you gaming tips, allegedly. You know what? I'll ask. Why? Who actually wants this? Who's gonna wake up in the morning and go, oh, thank God. Thank God I can have an Amazon smart speaker, but it basically having an anime waifu projected inside a tube instead of it just being, a ring. Someone in chat says this isn't the first time it's been done. It was on a Kickstarter before. How successful is this Kickstarter? Also, it would not surprise me at all if, in fact... How old is this anyway? Someone in chat says, I thought you covered the Kickstarter before. Nope. Here's the difference, though. All right. So this Kickstarter has raised $1.5 million of the $10,000 they originally asked for. This is a concept rather than a real product being shown. When do they actually expect to launch this thing? This DePaul D1. Allegedly, they expect this to launch 3 months ago. I don't know. This is the first I've ever heard of this. The other thing is that I also don't think it actually is like. Well, I mean, like here. I mean, the bottom line is that. All right, look, it's a cute little thing. I don't know what this is powered by as far as the AI. I do know what the Razer one is powered by. I know the AI one is powered by Grok, or I know the Razer one is powered by Grok. So this one that Razer is showing off, that I don't know who this is for. I don't know what the other one is for either. The other one that apparently did launch. And actually, for all we know, Razer saw the other one, saw it raised $1.5 million and went, we should totally do that. Quite possible. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Razer decided to go down that route. My question still stands now, not only for the Razer one, but for the other one I completely forgot about, the DePaul. Why? Just why would you do that? And here's the thing, like, it'd be one thing if Razer wants to go ahead and go into AI for the purpose of just like promoting their waifu hologram thing. Like that's one thing, all right? This next one is almost inexcusable for just how bad a product it is. Razer also announced the Forge AI Dev Kit, a rack mountable AI workstation that is compatible with a Razer's new AI kit, has extreme performance with multi GPU for up to 4 graphic cards, and are configurable with workstation class processors and 8 DIMMs of you can't buy this RAM, as well as high-speed dual 10 gigabit Ethernet and a 2,000 watt power supply. Razer, I don't know if you've actually ever seen workstations, AI workstations otherwise, but this is the lamest workstation I have ever seen in my life. It really is just a basic baby mode workstation with an air cooler on the Ryzen Threadripper processor, 4 blower cooled, and according to their render, completely plugged, one on top of the other GPU so that the 3 above the one on the bottom can't get airflow. Air cooled GPUs inside a basic tower with a perforated front and maybe 3 fans. Oh, but you don't understand, Eagle. You don't understand. You can rack mount it. Ooh. You can, because they're AI, you know, AI people like racks. You can put it in a rack. Oh, look how much better it is all of a sudden. It can be in a rack. this is a laughably bad workstation. Even if you were, let's pretend you are an AI, developer for a moment. Okay. Let's pretend you need this kind of rig. Most of you don't, but let's pretend you do. Okay. For an actual workstation, Dell, HP, and Lenovo have a far better and a far superior workstation platform. Between the Precision 79, whatever we're up to now, the HP Z8, and Lenovo, whatever the heck their model is, that has the option of not just the one Threadripper CPU, but the option of going dual CPUs for more bandwidth to the GPUs, for the ability to have more RAM to feed your AI models, not to mention upwards of 5 high-end GPUs for all of them. But also, look at that, we can go ahead and rack mount it. So you can take up, 4 to 5 U of your 42U server space for one AI workstation. That's great, isn't it? Oh my God. That's 4 GPUs and 4 U's. That's so impressive. I hate to break it to you, geniuses over at Razer. This right here is a real rack mount AI system that is not a custom solution, that is just drop and play that Dell has. This is a basic nonsense system. This is the Dell EMC DSS 8440. In either the same amount of rack space or one fewer rack space than your system, it can house 10 GPUs. And twice the amount of CPU, which also means it can handle double to triple the amount of RAM as your system. Razer, this is embarrassing. There's no other way to phrase this. You're not powering the next AI breakthrough. You're instead just going to be slapped in the face by people who actually know how to design hardware. You have brought nothing unique to the table other than an RGB front logo. And all this does is drag your reputation through the mud with the one core demographic you have. Gamers. F minus minus. It's beyond disappointing. Meanwhile, though, in things that Razer made that are actually interesting, Razer did make an AI assisted wearable headset which doesn't have any way to see AI or if it's supposed to use AR or anything. But it's supposed to be able to go ahead and use these cameras to be able to enhance what you see, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what this is supposed to do. I mean, they are showing like a video of like a streamer kind of doing a cooking stream. Is that what this is supposed to be for? Is this just a really expensive way to go ahead and do cooking streams? You know what? Actually, that might be the best. You know what? If that's all this thing is for, that actually might be the best product that Razer has revealed at CES. I think they might actually be onto something. The only downside is I wouldn't be able to view my chat. That would in fact be the only downside. Finally, of course, Razer revealed the one thing they are the best at, and that is making strangely shaped gamer gear with RGB on it. Introducing Project Madison, a gaming chair with speakers built into it and RGB lighting. You know what? I'm not even mad. It's about the most Razer thing they could possibly make. Like this really does track for Razer. But yeah, that is so far what Razer has announced at CES. We're going to take another break here. When we come back, Dell finally showing they can actually listen to the consumer market, an ability that apparently every other major company does not seem able to do. Don't go anywhere. We will be back. question would be, do they suck? I really do want to know, like, what are they all gonna be able to do? Like, it could be something incredible. It could be something very interesting for, you know, like we were kind of half joking about, the ability to kind of stream away from your streaming setup, but over in a kitchen. Like, that could be interesting. If they work really well, yeah, they could be something that's actually incredibly valuable for those with disabilities. It could be a very, very interesting product. But the problem is that we have no idea. Like, the details of how well it's gonna work. And I mean, the other like major problem, especially with most of these kind of AI products, is that when they just say, oh, it'll do this, that, and the other thing, I don't believe them. Because, man, if I had a nickel for every single time an AI product went ahead and just